Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we're going to be watching a couple videos on Dr. K from HealthyGamerGG, and why his advice seems confusing, why his advice seems a little bit all over the place, and we'll be having a look whether he's actually helping people, whether he is a benefit to society, or whether he is trying to keep his patients, his followers confused on purpose, because then they buy into his courses, they buy into his therapy, they buy into the life cycle of his career. Okay. Like we discussed yesterday, many people see athletes, their favorite stars, as their gods, because many people have lost meaning in their lives. Many people don't know what it is that they are doing anymore, since they do not have religion. As Nietzsche said, God is dead. And many people are finding that the lack of meaning is causing them to seek hope and advice from other people. And a lot of content creators, a lot of gurus online are milking their followers for that very reason. Okay, we live in interesting times, we live in difficult times, we live in a time where, like I said, people have lost meaning, and it is causing, all sorts of problems in society. A lack of meaning is leading to depression, is leading to people being filled with self-doubt, not being able to understand their current circumstances, and it is causing them to express that anger and that rage most often towards themselves, inwards. Depression is rage turned inwards. And here at Raw Instinct, we encourage people to not be depressed. And how do we do that? We do the opposite of depression, which is to express. Okay, we produce content, we allow ourselves to speak our mind freely. We are not afraid to put shackles on ourselves, to say whatever it is that we want. And we find purpose in our lives. We find out what we are good at, what brings us joy and fulfills us in our life, and we explore that further by becoming subject matter experts in that field. And once we are subject matter experts, it is easy for us to then build a following. It is easy for us to be seen as a point of authority. It is easy for us to become people, leaders who people will look towards for guidance. And once we are providing that guidance, once we are establishing ourselves as experts, as geniuses to humanity, it is easy for us to take the next step and build our kingdoms. And once we have established a kingdom, we are naturally seen as kings. And that is what a lot of people are striving for, because they do not have the balls, they do not have the confidence to go out and take what is rightfully theirs, because they are filled with self-doubt and negative thoughts. Once we erase the negative thoughts and self-doubt, it's easy for us to go out and conquer new lands, conquer new territory, conquer kingdoms, build our own kingdoms. We are buying private islands to establish our new lands, and I want you to join me. What are we doing here on Royal Instinct? We are here, I am here sending out a bat signal. I'm recruiting the Amicis. I'm looking for 100 people to join me, to build alongside me, to help them build their kingdoms, and in turn you will help me build mine. We will stand shoulder to shoulder, fighting the enemy, fighting the evil in the world. We are preparing for ourselves for the oncoming collapse, and we are getting ready to live life like kings, live lives of luxury. And who would you want to be friends with once you are at the top? It will be other kings, such as myself, the Amicis that we have here at Royal Instinct. But let's dive straight into Healthy Gamer and see what he has to say.
Watching YouTube in 2026. And I recognize the absolute irony of me telling you to do that
So a YouTuber is telling you to stop watching YouTube. Let's see what he has to say, what the reasons behind it
as a
are.
YouTuber. But here's what I'm seeing, and it's pretty disturbing. we're seeing a lot of people watch more and more self-help content on the internet. And
why are they looking at self-help content on the internet? It is because they can see that there is something wrong in their lives, that they that their life isn't ideal, not how they want it to be, and then they are looking for ways to help themselves, ways to find solutions, and build a better life, a more meaningful life for themselves. Why are people in this position? It is because the elites are bleeding their country dry, bleeding the earth dry. They are lying to us as citizens, straight to our faces. And I, for one, am sick and tired of buying the lies. I'm sick and tired of listening to these people. I refuse to play the game and I am opting out. But many people are still hesitant. They are still captured by the system. They are stuck in the system. And as long as you are stuck in the system, you will never succeed, because that is the game that the elites have established. It is a casino. The house is always wins, and the game is rigged. Okay, and the only way to get out of that is to establish your own kingdom, to become a king, stop playing by the rules, and like myself, try something new, do something new. And if you go into it with a pure heart, if you go into with total conviction, you will be successful.
as you watch things like this channel, which, by the way, a lot of our content is great, I highly recommend it, there's an insidious problem that's
After so many fucking videos that he's made on helping people with their problems, you would think he would have said it all. However, he realizes most people aren't. They recognize that they have problems, and they recognize that they should do something about it. But instead of doing something about it, they just end up watching YouTube videos and they think they're being productive. Okay, when in reality, all they are doing is wasting time. All they are doing is causing the inevitable failure of them, because by the time you do something about it, it will be too late. Okay, we are heading towards financial crises. We are heading towards 15-minute cities. We are heading towards where you will be plugged into the metaverse, where you have no dating life, where you have no means of making money, because AI will be taking your jobs, and all that is left to do will be to doom scroll, to be filled with rage through the algorithms that are pumping straight into your brain.
starting to grow, which is that people are watching content like this, they're listening to podcasts, we're doing all kinds of stuff for our benefit, but it's not actually resulting in a lot of benefit. So here's how this works. I decide at some point to waste a little bit of time. Maybe I'm taking a break from work, maybe I'm going to the restroom, and so I decide to open up something.
He's walking towards the restroom and he whips out YouTube.
Like YouTube, because I want a little bit of a distraction. I want to entertain myself a little bit. And then a really, really sneaky thought creeps in, which is that if I'm going to waste my time, why don't I watch something productive, right? So instead of watching some stand-up comedy or some improv comedy sketch or something like that on YouTube, why don't I pull up a Dr. K video or a productivity video or a podcast? And at least that way, when I'm wasting time, I'm actually learning something. So it's not really a waste of time.
Because your dopamine, your brain is rewarding itself for doing something productive or learning something productive, but then not actually using that information in your life. Okay, and a lot of the problems, a lot of this depression that people are experiencing, a lot of the anxieties that people are filled with, is because they now know what to do, because they watch all this content, but they do not put it into action. Here at Raw Instinct, instead of waiting around for opportunities, we just dive straight in. We allow the chips to fall wherever, the pieces to fall anywhere they like, and we navigate the world around it, because we go in with full conviction, we go in with full certainty that we will succeed. Because if you are at a point where you know your life is shit, where you had to struggle, where you play the game the way that society tells you to do, you go to university, you get an education, you get a good job, you climb the corporate ladder, and you look around that the things that you wanted, the goals that you set for yourself are not attainable through the system. When once you realize that, you know, you have to break the rules, you have to try something new that hasn't been tried before. And you know, you can see it in the way that I run this YouTube channel. I come on here, I talk about various sorts of topics, and I am straight in. I am just talking off the top of my head. I am going, expressing myself, whatever I feel like. I am reacting in real time. There is no preparation made. These are just thoughts that I've accumulated over years, thinking about several topics. And you know, once you are prepared to, you know, go into an unknown territory and do something without preparation and come out and successful at the other end, your brain will reward itself, and you understand that you can handle things that no other human can do, because most people always procrastinate, they overthink things, and it takes them to a place where they are not active, they are not making any progress. They are just thinking about the possibilities of making progress. Here at Raw Instinct, we are making progress in real time. The people that I work with are, you know, we remove their self-doubt, we remove their fears, so that they are have a clear runway towards their goals. You know, they are in a positive spirits to succeed.
Right? That turns out to be an incredibly insidious thought. Because what I want y'all to think about for a moment is what determines the self-help content that you watch. The scary thing is that our job as YouTubers is to...
Can you notice as well, like his you know, I'm going to rewind it a little bit and just watch his hand movements, right? I'm going to mute it, right? Let me, there you go. And it's just, his hands are just here, he's like that. It's very scripted, it's very forced. Okay, like you know, you don't see me here just poking at you, you know, being all dramatic with my fucking hands here and everywhere. It's like, no, right? You can tell that he is being performative, he is not being himself, he is playing up a character to try and keep you engaged. The other thing is, you have to realize this: if you're the type of person that needs this extra stimuli to be kept engaged, and this content that I'm producing isn't for you, right? Okay, you need to be able to understand what I am doing here, right? I'm not here to entertain you, I'm not here to teach you, I'm here to gather you, right? If you ever thought about you know, being the main character in your life, if you ever thought about being the main character in in life in general, you know, this is your moment. This is the moment that you step up, that you decide to embark on the hero's journey. This is the moment where you decide that it is, you know, that you want to do something worthwhile, that you want to break all the rules and come up with your own rules, right? I want you to experience total freedom. I want you to experience the possibility to fulfill all your dreams. Okay, I want you to understand that I am here sending out a bat signal to like-minded people, to people who have similar values as me, similar interests as me, similar belief system as me, who want to work hard, who want to accomplish something, who want to live a life of a king, you know, because it is our destiny to do so. No one can stop us. No one can get in our way. We destroy all that comes before us. If you want to be a part of it, then let's work together.
YouTube you watch and how much you actually get better. Those are not the kinds of videos that we make. We make videos that are entertaining. We make videos that get people...
His hands are really pissing me off now.
To click them. We make videos that people will watch to the end. And so what we're actually doing...
So because he is making videos to make customers, okay? He is making videos for people to come to him who are, you know, who need therapy, who need guidance, okay? And he is selling him, I'm not going to use the word exploit, right? But he is selling them the possibility of alleviating their problems. I like to know how many people actually see this guy, that this guy has any benefit on their lives. All he talks about is some therapy, you know, modalities mixed in with some meditation, some Eastern spiritual, Hindu, Vedic, Dharmic language. And, you know, I mean, the fact that people aren't just one and done with him. They come, consume his content, and it guides them to a better life. And now he has to actively tell people not to watch fucking online self-help content is a joke.
Is making content that isn't designed to be helpful, it's designed to be consumed. Now, before we get into like, oh my God, all YouTubers are evil, I want to take a moment and just share with you that that's actually your fault, not ours.
And then he blames his audience straight away. He takes none of the responsibilities. Straight away, he is saying that it is your fault for watching the fucking videos, for incentivizing him, the producer. No, no, no. We do not do that here at Raw Instinct. We take full responsibility of our lives. We take total dominion over our decisions. And we then put all the past traumas, past failures behind us, and we move forward by making new ideas, we coming up with new creative solutions, not just for ourselves, but for humanity. Okay, we are establishing kingdoms so people can, when the doom comes, they can come and retreat within the walls of our kingdoms, the walls within our castle, because we are benevolent kings, we are philosopher kings. We are guiding humanity to a better new world, and I want you to be a part of it. And I don't want you to, blame other people who are watching, right? I want you to take responsibility of your life. He has to understand that it's his fault. Okay, don't make the fucking content. If people are demanding poison, right, then you can't just turn around and be like, oh, it's because you are demanding poison, I'm creating it. Okay, no, give the world an alternative, right? And the growth might be very slow at first. You might not get a lot of subscribers, at first you might not get a lot of customers, but in the end, good will triumph over evil. Okay, we will get to the bottom of all life's problems. We will find solutions to the coming onslaught, the coming problems. We are not blaming our circumstances. We are taking control of our lives. And people like Dr. K really should be making less poisonous content, because he just admitted that he is making poisonous content. So let's just rewind what he just said here. I want you to really listen.
Now, before we get into like, oh my God, all YouTubers are evil, I want to take a moment and just share with you that that's actually your fault, not.
There you go. He's blaming. Look at his face as well. Look at his face. Look how angry he is at you. It's your fault. He's literally shouting at you. He's like, it's your fault, and he points at you, and then he points at himself that it's not his fault. Watch.
Take a moment and just share with you that that's actually your fault, not ours.
Right, it's your fault, not ours. Right, he is pushing all the blame on his subscribers. He is and these are people who are already have low self-esteem. They are already confused. They already don't know what the issues are of what the cause is of their problems, right? What the issue is that they have. And then this guy comes along, telling them, listen to me, I've got all the fucking answers. And then the first thing he does is he blames you, right? And absolves himself of all responsibility, saying, oh, it's not my fault, right? Oh, you ate the poison that I just gave you? No, it's not my fault. I can't be fucking blamed. It is absolutely disgusting. And that is not the type of shit that we produce here on Royal Instinct.
Because I've tried this.
He's tried it. Oh no, he's fucking tried it.
If I made a 2-hour, really, really, really helpful video, but it was boring. But
you can see. I mean, look at the twisted face that he's pulling off here, right? I mean, look at that face. Yeah. He's like, I've tried to make good content, but you guys, the audience, don't appreciate it. Maybe I don't believe that all of his audience doesn't appreciate it. I bet there are just a few people who do. You have to choose the people who decides that they want to work with you. Okay, you can't force everyone to like you. You can't force the whole world to praise you. You have to find the people who are like you, the people that you will work with best. You have to find like-minded people like yourself, and you have to put yourself around the places where you know that you will be appreciated. Don't try to change the spots on the leopards. Instead, I want you to just go out there, find the people who appreciate you for you, and help those people. Okay. And from there on, right, once you make those people successful, everything else just snowballs, right? You already are in your zone of genius. You already are making the content that you are here on earth to make, right? And at that point, then you can't blame anyone, right? And then people want to hate you, fair enough. They can hate you, right? There are plenty of other people that they can go watch a fucking Mr. Beast video and Show Speed video, right? But don't be like this guy, blaming everyone else and taking no responsibility.
It didn't have a clickbait title, but it was not something that was easily doable.
So he is in it for the clicks. He's in it to gain a big subscriber base because he wants to monetize that. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with monetizing it, right? But if that is your sole cause, if that is the sole issue that you are aiming towards, right, then clearly your incentives are misaligned.
Who would watch that video? And it turns out that the answer is no one.
Are you sure? Like nobody will watch that video? He has, right, a really, really big subscriber base. Let's find out how many subscribers this guy got, okay? But my point is, he's got a big subscriber base, right? People watch his videos because they like the guy, right? Okay, for whatever reason, they like him. So if he now, right, after having such a big audience, decides to put out boring content, people will actually lap it up. They'll actually watch it, right? Because they're watching it for him. They're not watching it because of the clickbait title, right? But he is so obsessed with getting clicks on his videos instead of giving his audience what they are asking for, what they need. But let me Google this quickly. HealthyGamerGG, YouTube. 3.2 subscribers. So are you telling me, right, that if this guy, this is on YouTube, right? I know he's also got shit on Twitch as well. So if this guy puts out a video, a 2-hour video, right, of him giving solid advice, which he says he's tried, by the way, right? If he was to do that, people won't watch. I find it a very hard pill to swallow. I find it hard to believe. I think somebody is fibbing.
So there's a very subtle problem here, which is that the self-help content on the internet is not designed in a way to be helpful. It's designed in a way to be consumed. But that doesn't mean...
Right. That is literally what YouTube is, the platform does. It is designed for you to consume content. Like, I don't know what this guy is moaning about.
That it isn't helpful, right? So like people watch this channel, it's hilarious. There's actually a study at the American Psychiatric Association that's being presented this year on healthy gamers content. So this is wild. Like we are actually being studied.
And now he's plugging himself that, oh wow, look how good I am. I am being studied by a university.
By people at the American Psychiatric Association for the value of the content that we produce. And it turns out that
and the person probably making that study, who's doing the study, he probably watches his content, right? And he thinks there's value to it. And then he is doing a analysis on if it is helpful or if it's not.
Content is about as useful as the American Psychiatric Association's content, right? So these are people that are not trying to be entertaining. They're trying to be helpful. And I watch
So his content is as useful as the American Psychiatric Society's content, right? Okay, is that his point?
Help content. I listen to podcasts, and there's a lot of good stuff there, right? And there are absolutely people that have been a part of this community, have watched this content. It has transformed their lives, and they moved on. The problem, though, is that there are people who have watched content for years. There's people who consume every podcast on the planet. They watch for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Why are they doing that? Why are they watching every podcast online? Why are they spending so much time online? It is because people have no real friends anymore in real life. Most people don't have real connections, don't have real friendships, and they then get overwhelmed by a sense of loneliness. They do not have they have problems in their life, and then they ask, themselves, why do I have these problems? What is wrong with me? And then up comes, people like Healthy Gamer, people like Andrew Tate, who will feed you lies, who will tell you, oh, that it is because of this problem that you need to do this in order to achieve X goal, right? These people are there to exploit you. Those people are there to profit from you. And then if you're not buying the product, right, he'll then blame you, right? He'll be like, oh, yeah, it's your fault, okay? We do not blame anyone. We only take self-responsibility. Hang on, what just happened on my end? Let's go back to the video.
Hours, and they don't translate it into something. So then the question becomes, what's the difference? And in order to understand that, we have to dig into the psychology a little bit more. When people hear about our coaching program, their first response is usually, well, even making some support to let us know what needs, right? So this is something that happens so often where, like, if I'm sitting down to do some dishes or clean my kitchen, I'm going to turn on a podcast. If I'm waiting for a cue to pop in a game, I'm going to have HealthyGamerGG and Dr. K on my second screen. So at least I'm using that time efficiently. And so this self-help content that we watch becomes bonus. It becomes free. It becomes incredibly efficient. It becomes...
The problem with that is a lot of the time people, if it's just on in the background, you are using it as entertainment and distraction, because you do not want to be bored. You don't actually end up taking it on board. It's very rarely like, like if you spend like 3-4 months watching self-help content, right, reading self-help books, right, from after that point, you kind of know not 80-90% of everything else, right? Because every book, that they'll tell some bullshit about discipline, they'll tell you about willpower, they'll tell you some shit about, meditation. In the end, all the self-help content, it is all the same, right? Whereas it is designed for you to, to heal you and then place you back into the current system. Whereas I'm like, look, the current system doesn't work. Okay, you need to get out of the system. You need to establish a new system, right? And the best way to do that is to find like-minded people, and build with them. Make something of yourself, right? Help other people in return. Find friends who really have your back, people that you can really trust. And that is what I'm building here. I'm finding the Amichis. I'm finding 100 people that can work alongside me, that we can all build together. And then the hundreds of us can live like kings. Imagine that 100 kingdoms next to each other, scattered all across the globe, helping each other. When the war comes, we will be all fighting alongside one another.
Something that isn't a priority that I'm dedicating my time to, it starts to become extra. And the problem with that is that if it's something that's extra, if it's something that's free, that means it doesn't cost me anything. I'm gaining something without spending anything. And the moment we shift into that idea, that's when we run into a huge problem. Because the moment that our brain starts to think this is something that I'm getting for free, at that point we become unwilling to pay a price.
So he's doing some brainwashing here, I swear down, right? Look, he's saying like, oh, because you're consuming something for free, right? Because you're consuming his content for free, you're not paying a price, right? Which is, right? And what he's basically saying is like, don't watch free content online. Don't watch my free content online. Don't watch his free content online, right? Instead, pay for the content, right? Which is exactly the same content probably that he's got, in his YouTube, on his YouTube channel behind the paywall, right? So I literally think he is trying to manipulate people into just buying his courses, buying his products. He's like, oh no, you're not going to learn nothing unless you pay for it, right? Now, look, there is some truth to it. You're not going to take something serious because you haven't placed a monetary value, a monetary sacrifice towards itself. However, he is at least come out and say the truth, right? Like, you know what I mean? Because if you invest money into something, your brain naturally pays more attention to it because you've actually paid $500 towards something, right? Whereas if you got it for free, it's like, all right, cool, I can do it later. Whereas if you actually put money towards it, right, you're like, right, okay, I just wasted $500 on this. This has to, make me money going forward, this has to help me in some way, shape, or form. At least come out and say the truth, right? Don't try to hide it. Most people, they know this instinctively, right? There's no need to manipulate people
to actually improve our life, because we have tricked our brains, or our brains have tricked us into thinking that this is something I can get for free. So there's a really good example of this, which comes from something called motivational interviewing, which is an evidence-based technique for helping people overcome addictions. So in motivational interviewing, we learn about something called ambivalence, which is sort of this internal conflict. I want to make a change, but I don't want to make a change. So here's the way that this looks. When I start out making a change, when I decide to make a change, I think about...
He's trying to put you into trance with his magical hand movements, and he's using big words, right? Then defining the definitions of it to keep you confused, to pour authority over you, to hold authority over you, to be like, look how smart I am, I know these words and you don't, and let me explain to you why. And that puts you into a trance, that puts you into a position of where you have to listen to the guy, and you give away your self-efficacy, you give away your decision making, because at that point you don't trust yourself. He's already told you that it's your fault for the shit content that is being produced, right? So he's taking people with low self-esteem. He's pushing their self-esteem and self-worth even further down. Then he's calling them stupid and dumb. Then he's coming along saying, look how smart I am. Look how qualified I am, right? You aren't capable of sorting yourself out. You've tried, right? And you're not going to take control and sort your life out. Let me do it. But the paid content is going to help you. It's going to have to be the paid content, right? So you see the clever maneuvering he's doing, the clever manipulation he's doing to get you to buy his products.
The benefit of the change, which is a far, far, far away. Let's say that it's January of 2026 and I'm going to sign up for a gym membership. When I sign up for a gym membership, what motivates me to do that?
But when you sign up for a gym membership, you also pay for it, right? And most people, when January 1st comes along and they sign up to a gym, right, they pay for the membership, right? But then they end up not going. So his argument about having to pay for something to make it worthwhile, to get the benefit from it, doesn't hold up.
It's the benefit of going to the gym. It's thinking to myself, okay, if I go to the gym for 6 months this year, if I work out 3 times a week, I'm going to get an awesome beach bod. I'm going to be ready.
What he's forgetting is he is telling people, he basically, most of his clientele, most of his audience members are people who have problems, right? He's telling them, do these things and that will solve the issue, right? Instead of him prescribing, right, solutions to your problems, right? He needs to understand what the problem is. The understanding of their problems will come from knowing that if you find out what the individual's life purpose is, if you find out what it is they are here to do, if you find out what they are passionate about, right, and then set a structure around that so that they can get better and better and better at the thing that they love to do, naturally, right, all the other things in their life will fall into place, okay? Because they're in their life purpose, they can work harder at that task than anyone else, right? Because they naturally, it is what they love to do, right? It's something that they can't even contain. It just pours out of you, right? And because you can't contain it, you're already outworking all your competition on it, which means you quickly rise to the top. You become an expert in it, right? And in this day and age, right, whatever your fucking topic is, right, you can monetize it, right? If you make a YouTube channel around it, if you make content around it, right, you can monetize that shit, right? And somebody will pay for it. Somebody will buy from you, right? Because you broadcast into the whole globe, right? 10 billion people. Somebody's going to watch it who fucks with you, fucks with your shit, and they're going to pay good money for whatever it is that you produce, whatever it is that you offer, right? But because you're in your life purpose, the content being produced, the work that is being produced, it comes easy to you, right? Then you're feeling more productive. You are more productive. You're feeling good about yourself, right? Your self-esteem is going up, okay? money is coming in because somebody, you will find a customer base for whatever it is that you're fucking selling, right? So money's now coming in. Now your life circumstances go up, your lifestyle goes up. So now you're feeling good about what you're doing with your life, how you're spending your time, how you're spending your money, right? And then your romantic side will fall in place anyway, because women are attracted to money. Okay, they want a fun lifestyle and they want to be with a man who is in his his zone of genius, somebody who is admired by other people, somebody who is seen as a point of authority, right? Women want a man that they can brag about, okay? And if you are in your zone of genius, right, you make money, okay, you're passionate about what you do, right? You're an interesting person now, right? You're somebody who is able to hold authority, who is seen as an authority by people, right? And a woman would want a man like that, and she would want to brag about him. Oh, my man does this, my man does that. He has this, he has that, right? He's taking me here. He bought me this, right? And that in you do all those things, everything else will fall into place, okay? Whereas what this guy's doing is like, oh no, you go to the gym and start working out, okay? Well, what if you hate working out in the gym, right? Like then you're literally making a fish climb a tree, right? Instead of doing that, find something, right, that is really easy to you, okay? Like for me, for example, I work out every day, once a day, right? But I do it in ways of things that I enjoy, okay? I enjoy doing Muay Thai, right? So 2-3 times a week I'll go to a Muay Thai class, right? And I'll do sparring, I do drills there, right? It's cardio, it's it's fun to me, right? It's fun. I don't go there thinking, oh, this is gonna be a hard workout. I go there, this is gonna be fun, and I end up having a good workout. I go to the gym, I lift weights, not because I want to be a bodybuilder, right? And be huge. I go it because I want to be strong for when I go and spar as well, right? And I want to, I want to maintain my physique the way it is right now, okay? And I do it in a way where I'm literally like challenging myself, right? But that is what's fun for me, right? If you find if fun for you means running outside, then go do that, right? But you have to find the thing that you find enjoyable.
For summer, it's going to improve my health, it's going to be really good for my mental health, there are going to be all these benefits. We do things because of the benefit.
But no, you, right, you want the benefits, but you don't want to put in the effort to get the benefits, right? So you have to structure it in a way that whatever is the thing that you're enjoying, right, is also getting you the benefits that you want, right? You're not going for the benefits. The benefits are like a side effect, right? So if I want to stay in shape, right, and I'm doing Muay Thai, I'm not doing it right, because I know, right, oh, I'm going to stay in shape if I do this, martial art. I'm doing it because I find Muay Thai fun, and a side benefit I'm getting is good health. But I'm right, and naturally, look, I understand that I want good health, right? But like, I'm not doing it. Well, when I tell myself is, oh, I'm going to go Muay Thai today, I don't say tell myself is that, oh, I'm going to get good health today, or I'm doing this for good health in the future, right? It's a side benefit, it's a positive benefit that you get, right? And what that also means is, because you're doing it in something that you enjoy, you now, in the rest of your time, you don't have to now I don't have to be like, oh, I also have to fucking go run on a treadmill every day, right, which I hate, right, because I need good health. It's like, no, you're getting the side benefit from the thing that you like doing, right? So you have to put yourself in positions where it's easy for you to enjoy your life, and the benefits that you get from those things are automatic, and you don't even have to think about getting those benefits.
And so the moment that I sign up for the gym, I'm thinking about all the benefits, but not thinking about the costs. And
no, the cost is fucking that you have to go to the gym, right? Like where that person goes wrong in the first place is, don't sign up to the gym if you don't want to be in the gym, right? You have to enjoy being there at the gym. You have to enjoy working out. You have to enjoy pushing weight, pushing weights along. Like, if you don't find that meaning in that, if you don't find enjoyment in that, then don't do it. Find something that you enjoy and get the health benefits that way.
Then we run into a problem, because when I actually go to the gym, what I do is pay the costs without actually getting a benefit, right? I don't have a beach bod the first time I go to the gym and I'm huffing and puffing and sweating on the treadmill and wondering why I ever came here, and I want to stop and I want to leave early, and oh my God, I'm so out of shape. We start to have all of these negative thoughts.
And the more he focuses on his negative thoughts, he's also implanting them in your head as you're watching his content. Because he's telling a story, he is creating this vivid imagery in your mind. And then he's also implanting these negative thoughts in your head.
So there's something really interesting about human behavior, which is that when we think about a goal, it's all upside. And as we move towards the goal, the cost actually increases. This is why we don't stick with stuff. We start something and we're like, oh my God, this turned out to be so much harder than I thought. And then we decide to move in the opposite direction. Okay, forget about the gym. Now what I'm going to do is make a video game, because that would be really cool. I'd make a lot of extra income. I love video games. It'd be awesome to make a game. I'm so excited. I have all these ideas. And then
he's talking about people with ambition, people with dreams, people with goals, right? He is not telling them how to accomplish those things. You have to understand this. You have to be in a position where you're doing something where you get enjoyment from, right? And you have to play it in a position where if you go down this path of doing this thing, learning about this subject, doing this type of content, that the goals that you dream of are inevitable, right? You have to make your goals inevitable, and you have to pick the thing that you're doing in an arena where you find enjoyment, right? That is the only way that you can marry all those different things, become super productive, become super successful. And once you have those things, all the other materialistic shit comes along with it anyway.
You start the process of learning how to code, and then you run into bugs, and then you run into more bugs, and you run into more bugs, and then you realize all the work that you put in doesn't really work because you weren't sort of thinking about the architecture of the game at the very beginning. And so then you quit. The way we help people in motivational interviewing is by helping them appreciate the cost. And so if we want to stop wasting...
I swear down, he is making this whole video so that you end up paying him, right? So now, does he want to get money from you? He wants you to appreciate paying him, right? And to be fair, wherever you buy, like, you should, it should be, when you exchange that money, it shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm making a sacrifice. It should be like, oh no, I'm happy to pay this to get the benefit that I fucking want, right? But it just sounds like a sleazy primer for him to turn you into a paying customer. It just sounds very salesy what he's doing right now.
Our time with self-help content,
and he's using his therapeutic voice, very calm, like this, blah blah blah, and he's using his fucking magical hands, trying to, I don't know, like, confuse you and put you into hypnosis. It's all very theatrical. It is all very weird and manipulative.
There's one really simple thing that we need to do. We need to start separating out improvement from entertainment. It's not something that we're doing extra. It's, if you are going to improve something, that should be the dedicated goal that you spend. It's not on your second monitor. You are going to sit down and intentionally learn.
His voice is full of tension and anxiety as he's saying it. He's like, oh, don't you find it, like, for people who are already anxious, who have self-doubt, who have depression, that this type of performance, let's call it, these type of theatrics will make their situation worse, will increase their anxieties?
Something for the sake of implementation. And like I said, a lot of people have benefited from this channel. I have benefited from a lot of the great...
Now he's telling you, like, oh, look how many people benefited him. Again, cementing his place as the one and only savior, right? Implementing himself as, like, look, I've got all the answers because many people have already benefited from what I am doing, right? From the content that I'm producing. Therefore, if you watch my content, if you buy from me, you will also get benefits. That is not here what I'm doing, right? So I'm not here to sell you a course to solve your solutions. I'm here to find like-minded people who want to work alongside me and who want to build kingdoms, who want to leave the current system, who want to establish their own system, right? Because if I just have you as a paying customer and you all you're doing is I'm just selling shit to you, right? And then you go fuck off, right? Like, great, okay, I'll make money, but you know, and then I have to use that money to enrich my life elsewhere. Whereas I want the people that I connect with to enrich my life. Okay, I want to find like-minded people who I can trust, people who are like me, who think like me, right? Because look, I can't go around, you know, talking to everybody in the world, okay, right? Being like, oh, you know, would me and you be good friends? Would me and you be good friends, right? Instead of individually talking to them, I'm broadcasting myself out here, right? I am trying to find people who are watching me, listen to what the fuck I'm saying, right? Are like, okay, I actually understand what that guy's saying, and there will be very few people, right? And that is why I only need 100 people, right? But right, I don't need thousands of fucking subscribers. I need thousands of views, right? What I need is to find the 100 people, right? And who who think like me, who understand what I'm doing, who want to go on the same mission that I'm going on, right? So I'm literally like, you know, when in Lord of the Rings, for example, right? Like the Fellowship of the Ring, where you know Gandalf, um, yeah, Gandalf and Frodo assembled the Fellowship, got all the people together, all the hobbits together, be like, all right, we're going on this mission now. I'm like, look, the mission is that we're gonna fucking become rich. The mission is that we're gonna become fucking trillionaires. That we're gonna have our own private islands. That we're gonna live like kings. That's the mission. That's the fucking goal that we're going on, right? But I'm here being like, right, look, who wants to join me? Okay, and I'm not like, you know, oh, you should join me. You should. I'm like, right, whoever wants to fucking join me, like they'll send me a message. They'll come. They'll go to my website, you know, and they'll reach out to me, right? They'll be like, yeah, do you know what? Like, and I've had many people do that to me already, right? Many people already. I'm working with them to clear out any negative thoughts that they have, any negative feelings that they have, any fears that they might have that is holding them back. I'm helping them find out what it is that they're good at, right? I'm literally helping them, right, in order for them to become better at their lives, right? And because I'm helping them, I'm not treating them as a client. I'm treating them as a future ally, you know, a future king, somebody that I can, you know, then once we're both successful, we're both, you know, starting companies together, right? That we are investing money. We are coming up with new scientific solutions and scientific discoveries. We are finding new creative solutions. And that is a situation that I want to build for myself, for the Amichis, for the people at Raw Instinct. And if you're one of those people, right, you'll let me know, right? You'll be like, yeah, man, that sounds fucking cool. I want to join that.
Content on the internet. And here's the difference between people who benefit and people who don't benefit. Some people start doing the thing and then consume content in a targeted way to improve the thing. I'll give y'all an example from my life. I like watching cooking videos, but the cooking videos that are helpful to me are not the random videos that I click on because I think the thumbnail is cool.
Yeah, this is like, we're gonna watch this till the end. I actually had another video lined up, right? But I think I'm gonna leave it for today. I think this one video will be enough. Right at the end, he's gonna sell his fucking subscription or his course or whatever, being like, yeah, man, like you have to buy that, and that's when you get results. Not if you just go on YouTube and watch random shit.
It's stuff like, okay, if I'm going to learn how to grill, I'm going to spend some time grilling. And once I spend some time grilling, I run into problems with the things that I grill. My carrots are not tender, and if they get tender, they get burned. This was a huge problem that I ran into. So then I'm going to watch a...
Who grills carrots? Like, just fucking boil them. Boil carrots. Why would you grill it? It sounds horrible.
A targeted video to help me solve that problem. Here's the big difference. The work, the energy investment, the cost comes first. That is actually the primary thing. And watching content to supplement that comes second. It is not something extra that I'm doing. It's not something that I get for free. I pay the price up front. So if y'all want to stop wasting time on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, one thing that you need to do, there's no more free extra.
Watch this, right? It was basically a sales pitch, a sales letter, and now he's going to drop the offer that this whole video, right, this whole fucking 10-minute video has been building up towards.
Or efficiency of learning. Either you are learning or you are wasting time. Don't confuse the two. Hey y'all, hope you enjoyed today's video. We talk about a bunch of topics like this.
This is it. This is now the sales pitch
on the channel, so be sure to subscribe for more. If you're already subscribed, GG, and we'll see you in chat.
Yeah, so he wants you to become a member. And then again, here he's rolling the credits of people who want to join him, people who already are members. And it was literally like a whole sales pitch. He's shaming you for watching his content and not paying him, basically. Yeah, man, that is some bullshit. That is not the right way to go about it. Instead, like, he could be like imagine like he's got a channel of 3 million people, right? Let's say 3,000 people out those people, right, come to him with real problems. He helps those people become as effective as possible, as efficient as possible, helps them reach that zone of genius. Now he has 3,000 friends who appreciate him, who like what he has helped them with. Okay, right. And he can literally, these 3,000 people that he's found, right, they can now, he's literally brought together high quality talent who have resolved their past traumas, their past issues, who are very effective and ready to be an ambitious person, right? Ready to work towards ambitious goals. And instead he's like, oh, well, I've helped 3,000 people, let me help 3,000 people more, which is also, look, it's a great thing, but it's not as ambitious as it could be, right? He's like, he then takes away those 3,000 success stories and gets another 3,000 success stories because he's just trying to help people make money and then move them along. Whereas I'm like, look, help them, right? Now, right, you've got this person who is very self-aware, very high efficient, not depressed anymore, right? They're ready to go and build something of themselves, right? They're ready to now be an effective person in life, okay? And I think this guy is just missing the mark. However, I see what the problem is. I see what the issues are with all these gurus, all these content creators. And I'm just like, look, man, like, by ourselves, we're all going to be fucked. But if we all come together, if we all have the same goals, same beliefs, if we all want the same things, let's all work together and come up with new solutions and build new lands, take over territory, build our kingdoms, and crown ourselves the rightful kings.
That'll be your whole personality.
So this is like another video of his.
Cool people try a hobby. They choose one. Unbelievable. They Google it once, they buy the basic starter kit like a normal person, book a weekly session, stick to it, and slowly improve over time. Imagine doing something without it turning into a personality, a lifestyle, and a 3-year business plan by lunchtime. ADHD people try a hobby, and it's a full personality shift that can last anywhere between 4 minutes and 7 business days. Because we don't collect hobbies, we're collecting possible lives. Every time we pick something up or try something new, what we're actually doing is running a deep psychological experiment that's called, could this finally be the life that fits me? Last week I tried yoga for the first time and the instructor said, I can't believe that this is your first class. The next thing you know, I'm searching if I could realistically move me and my dog to Bali for £1.85 and become a wellness instructor because her comment made me feel something.
Okay, so let's talk.
Yeah, so I mean, most people don't know what their life purpose is. Most people don't know what their life mission is. That people are trying to find that meaning, and they think it's going to be in hobbies. They think it's going to be in relationships, romantic relationships. They think it's going to be in movies. They try all sorts of different shit. But what you have to realize is you are your person, right? Whether you are in a situation where, you are a martial artist, whether you are a dancer, whether you are a scientist, whether you are a actor, whether you are a chef, right? Like, those are just things that you do, right? But the character behind the person who does all those things, right, remains the same. And you have to understand this, like life is just something that you have to embrace. And if you are the type of person who can embrace life and move forward, and dodge all the things that life throws at you, right, that is what makes you an interesting person, right? Doing, as she said, being a yoga instructor isn't actually that interesting. I was like, oh, okay, you teach yoga, but then getting to know how that person became an instructor, why, what their reason is for it, what led them to doing yoga in the first place. Those are the things that are interesting, right? Like, that is the drama of life. And so instead of trying to search for something in life to make you interesting and trying to find meaning in doing stuff, it is you as a person that is doing the shit that is meaningful, Okay, which is why here at Raw Instinct we don't waste time learning new ways to do shit. We try to do shit, okay, and we self-correct. Okay, we work with other subject matter experts. We pass around to share ideas from our past experiences, and then we try different avenues of tackling a certain problem, and we constantly improve. We constantly get better. We gain real life experience, which is why we are the most interesting people in the world, which is why we have the best stories, why we have the best ways of doing shit. Okay, I don't want you to be somebody who procrastinates. I want you to be somebody who is ready to embrace challenge, put themselves in tough situations, and just see what the fuck happens. Sometimes you just have to see what the fuck happens to get an outcome, to get yourself a new perspective and a new way of living.
Talk about this for a second. There are times where we run into stuff. Could this be me? And there are a lot of good reasons for that, right? Because I think like most human beings feel out of place. And we look around and there's this idea of like finding your tribe. Like I remember when I was in medical school. So when I went to medical school.
Yeah, here we don't try to find our tribe. Yeah, look, I've went around. I tried to find my tribe, right? I've tried loads of different shit. I used to be a dancer. I was a choreographer. I've tried pickup. I've tried, I bought a guitar. Tried that for a fucking week. I do Muay Thai, right? I've worked in finance. I've got a degree in economics. I've tried all these fucking different things, right? And but the experience and enjoyment and character building come from doing all that shit and then reflecting back on it, right? You don't go through it and then are like, oh, now I'm living my purpose. Okay, you have to be somebody who's ready to embrace difficult situations, who's able to take on challenges, and sometimes you got to see what the fuck happens, right? Just fucking put yourself out there and see what the outcome will
I was
be.
going to become an oncologist. My dad was an oncologist. He was an amazing oncologist. Was one of the seminal researchers in something called graft versus host disease. Was at MD Anderson, which is one of the best cancer institutions in the world. Came from India.
Let's speed this up.
Realize it yet? And then he eats this apple, and he eats down to the core of the apple, and then you're looking to find the thing that you are falling in love with. The chances are you won't fall in love with it. I hate to say this. This is anecdotal evidence. As a psychiatrist,
we don't fall in love with things or things that we do. We fall in love with what we create. We fall in love with the process of being a genius. Okay, we fall in love with being a king. We fall in love with being the person who is a natural leader. We are in love with our abilities to become geniuses, become subject matter experts, become somebody somebody of noteworthy, that people take as points of authority. We are those people in power. We are the new elites creating new situations for the people who follow us.
I decided to be celibate, met my wife. Decided to be a real doctor.
Okay, then what about all those people who are incels right now, right? Okay, so are you saying they're incels, but if they decide not to be incels, then they'll find a wife? It's like, no, the dating market's fucked, and we all know it. Life isn't played anymore how it was in movies in the 90s, right? Like around the 2010s, right, when Instagram came onto the scene, when smartphones came onto the scene, right, it all went to shit.
Save lives and cure cancer. Fell in love with psychiatry. See, when we are looking for something, we're so hungry for it. Give it. Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And we get just an inkling of something, right? We're like, oh my God, is this the thing that I want to do? You just get a touch of it. And you're like, oh, finally I found it. Oh my God. And then what happens? It turns out to not be your thing. You abandon that hobby. You're not a chess person. So then what happens? The looking gets more frantic. Oh my God, that's not my thing, and that's not my thing, and that's not my thing. Please let this be my thing. And so
you got to move away from trying to look to fill the void to looking for something that will solve your issues. And instead, you need to embrace the problems that you got. Try shit, right? And along the way, you'll figure out you'll course correct. You'll figure out what the things are that you're doing wrong, and how to make it better, and how to find what the real solution is behind
moment
it.
that something nice happens, you're like, oh, I get a little bit excited. This is me. Finally, I found the thing. You guys see how the hunger becomes a cognitive bias. It becomes rose-tinted glasses. The more desperate we are to find something, we get so excited. And that's where the ADHD comes in, because people with ADHD are more vulnerable to that. They're more vulnerable to the emotional fluctuations. There are other reasons too. But let's start with this idea of, if I'm hungry for something, if I'm looking for something and I get some sign of it, because here's the thing, remember, I haven't found my tribe. I haven't found my personality. So I don't know what it is to have.
We don't try to find our personalities. We allow our personalities to be formed by the decisions we make when we embrace chaos, when we embrace situations where we are out of our experience, right? We go into the darkness, we go into the unknown, and we come out of it tougher. We come out of it with more strength. We come out of it with new experience, new insights that we bring back to our tribes, to our followers, the people within our kingdoms, right? And because we are the people who put our balls on the line and go into the unknown, we are naturally the kings, because we aren't afraid of anything. If you understand what I'm saying, if you understand what I'm doing, then I want you to reach out and work with me together. We can come up with new solutions, come up with new creative ideas of how to solve the world's problems, how to save ourselves from the oncoming doom, of the AI onslaught, of these 15-minute cities, the ship plan that the World Economic Forum have for us. We will not surrender. We will not take part. And I want you to be a part of my journey. Let me know, reach out to me if you have any thoughts. But that is it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you